Good morning, and welcome to West Shore Unitarian Universalist Church. I am Barbara Walker, and I am a commissioned lay minister here at the church. West Shore is a welcoming congregation, and we are a multi-generational group worshiping together, and we are a spiritual home for all those who are in sympathy with Unitarian Universalist values and principles, regardless of religious background, age, race, ethnicity, gender, identity, ability, or sexual orientation. We strive always to be an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, multicultural community. All are welcome here. If you are new today, please stop by the Welcome Center and be given a name tag, ask any questions. Diane Alcorn would be happy to talk with you. I just have one announcement today. A program that is coming up on August 18th that I help host is called The Spirituality of Gardening. We will talk about how gardening is a spiritual practice. There's going to be a community meal. I hear there's going to be flower tarot card readings and a tour of the West Shore Gardens. So please join us for that. If you'd like to sign up on Realm, or in the next couple weeks there will be a table out in the rotunda for sign-ups. All are welcome. And now we will light our chalice. For centuries, people have told stories, celebrated life, and approached the ultimate while gathered around a fire. Today we light our chalice, that the hearth of the fire in our hearts may be rekindled, that our stories may be retold, that we may celebrate life anew, and that we might approach what is of ultimate value. Now please join us with the words on the screen for our unison affirmation. Let us witness the unity of our spirit by saying together these words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is a great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Es el espíritu de esta iglesia, en el servicio suele. Este es nuestro magnífico convenio, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor, hermanos los unos a los otros.
This good morning, remembering the journey of freedom. The land we are on was once another's. We mourn the legacies of oppression. Healing is our way forward. Joy is the birthright of hope.
And now let us take time to greet each other as feels mutually comfortable. If you like, you might include in your greeting a wave to the back to the folks at home who are participating with us via live stream. Just turn around and wave. I am sure they are waving right back at you.
Hymn of the day, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. Please stand if you are willing and able.
So, a reflection on people-pleasing. Honestly, in the past few days, trying to write this reflection has been very difficult for me and not very authentic. I even tried to convince Reverend Dave that a reading would be better. Nope, he gently insisted that I do a reflection, and I'm glad he did. So I don't actually consider myself a people pleaser. I normally have worked very hard to be my authentic self, long before it was our buzzword or popular. Valued the things that made me different, even to the extent of taking the road less traveled, not following the crowd, much to my delight and others' puzzlement, leading me to much explanation of some of my choices. So this week, in my puzzlement of how to do this, I decided to ask one of my trusted best friends to help me unpack this and give me her examples of people-pleasing. We had grown up in separate states, but with very similar, complicated family stories, and often had these discussions. She rapid-fire gave me several examples of people-pleasing. All of her life, she's been this way, she says, including being 3 years old, her parents asking her what she wants to name her brand new puppy. Dad says to her, "When I was little, I had a puppy named Nippy." Mom says, "When I was little, I had a puppy named Whiskers." My friend instantly proclaimed, "Then we will name it Nippy Whiskers." Hence the family calling the dog NW for many, many years. My friend tells me, though, that this is her first remembrance of people-pleasing. And this is the first time that she's ever told this story. We talked then about the value of sharing your stories, even the very tough ones. And then it dawned on me, this might be the area where I lean towards people-pleasing and not being authentic. Ironically, when trying to tell my versions of my very complicated family story, I realized that I'm always editing the details according to who is present in the room, not able to share too much information. For many years, I was not content to share those half visions of the story and the half versions. So I didn't upset anybody, constantly not feeling authentic. But I'm starting to vow to do more of that and be braver in the stories that I tell. I've always believed in the power of our stories to help us build community and listening to the power of others' stories. Brene Brown, in her research on vulnerability, says, staying vulnerable is a risk, and we have to take it if we want to experience true connection. So writing this reflection for me this week continues to bring that point home. So may it be.
Let us enter into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Feel the earth beneath your feet as it supports you. Feel the love of community as it surrounds and enfolds you. Feel your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heart. And how is it with your heart? Does your heart feel whole, shielded by intellect, cocooned by reason, closed to feeling? Or is it broken, fragile to the touch, brimming with the pain of loss? Or has your heart been broken and healed so many times that it now lies open to the world, knowing that true growth comes not without pain? That tears may wear down barriers, that we may carry the hearts of others, even when our own is too heavy for us to bear. None of us has an unblemished heart, not one. For such perfection can be found only in death, and we who are alive still have much to heal. So let us give thanks for the broken places in our hearts and in our lives. For it is only through such brokenness that we may truly touch one another. And only through touching one another that the world may be healed. Let us give thanks for the brokenness that we share. And now all are welcome to come forward to share from the heart, to express a hope, a prayer, an intention, by placing a stone or through writing on a card. Know that what you write on a card will be held in confidence, and if you request a follow-up, our pastoral care team will contact you. here are the joys and sorrows of our hearts, which our care team will take into their meditations this week and pray for all that is our life.
And now, before we take our offering, if any of you were here last week, you remember me talking about our time, talent, and treasure, and how we give from all of these, and how that builds us as a community. And I can think of no better time to recognize someone in our congregation who I hear from a little bird that it's her last Sunday here, because she's moving away. Mimi Mayer has given of her time, her treasure, and her talent for so long as I can remember to this church. Can we please give her a round of applause? And now our offering will be taken and graciously received for the good of the church.
I realize that maybe perhaps there might be someone out there who doesn't know who I am. So, but I'm the Reverend Dave Clements, and West Shore is my home congregation. I serve as an interim minister, which takes me to various congregations in our faith, and but I've had the privilege for the last several months to actually be here and to spend time with my partner, Jerry Devis. And no matter where I go, whether it be South Africa or Illinois or Indiana and now California, West Shore is always a part. I always take it with me. This was the congregation that brought me up, so to speak, and the first one that introduced me to Unitarian Universalism. So those of you who don't know me, now you do. And our time here today may be something that we all can learn and grow together from. You know, a few years ago, I was in discussion with my oldest daughter, and she asked me the following question: Dad, if you had to pick one thing, what would you say to be the most important thing for leading a happy life? Of course, I thought long and hard before I answered her question, because she is one of these types that really thinks a lot. And I answered her question and I said, I believe that the most important thing for happiness is living an authentic life. An authentic life, my daughter said. What and how does one do that? And so for the next several hours, we discussed the concept of what does that mean. And the following ideas that I share with you today are some that we both came up with. And I share them because I think that they have merit for all of us. One of the things that we decided was, in order to live a happy life, you need to live with integrity. You need to be transparent, honest, and authentic. It is better to be yourself and risk having people not like you than to suffer the stress and tension that comes from pretending to be someone you're not. And I can promise you that pretending will rob you of joy. You know, I've spent a better part of my early life as a people pleaser, trying to meet other people's expectations. Not that any of you have ever been in that situation. And trying to keep everyone happy and liking me. But as I got older, I began to realize that when we're trying to please others, we are usually out of sync with our own wants and needs. And it's not that it's bad to be thinking of others, it's that pleasing others is not the same as helping others. Pleasing others is not the same as helping others. People-pleasing, in my personal experience, is a process of guessing what other people want or what will make them think favorably of us, and then acting accordingly. It's often subtle and usually unconscious attempt at manipulating other people's perceptions of us. Anytime we pretend to be or feel something that we aren't, we are out of integrity with ourselves. And anytime we're doing something that is more about influencing what others think of us, we end up out of integrity with ourselves. And being out of integrity has pretty serious consequences for our own happiness, for our relationships. Here's what happens when we aren't being authentic. First off, we're not fooling anyone. And second, sometimes we have a hard time trying to focus. Because, you know, pretending takes a huge conscious effort. It can sometimes drain our brain of the power to focus and to do the deep work. And we can become more stressed and anxious. Pretending to be or feel something that you don't, and even if it is relatively meaningless, and even if it is meant to protect someone else, it's a lie. We don't lie or pretend to perform all the time, of course, but when we do, it's important to understand the consequences. Increased stress, decreased willpower, impaired relationships. Living not authentically makes life hard and cuts us off from our sweet spot, that place where we have both ease and personal power. I believe a lot of people-pleasing behavior is born out of fear. fear of being disliked, fear of abandonment, fear of not fitting in, fear of loss, and many other fears that can happen in our day-to-day life relationships. See if this description of a people pleaser reminds you of anyone that you might know. A people pleaser is typically someone everyone considers helpful and kind. When you need help with a project or something to help you, they're more than willing to step up. If you recognize yourself in the above description, you may be a people pleaser, but at some point, constantly making yourself available to others has an emotional toll. You may find that you neglect your own needs because you fear disappointing others when they ask for your help. So how do you know whether or not you're a nice person or someone who fits the profile of a people pleaser? It's one thing to want to help others because it's part of your nature, but people pleasers often end up being taken advantage of by others. So my daughter and I came up with these signs that you may be a people pleaser, and they can include, 1, agreeing with whoever is in front of you. Many of us learn how to politely listen to others as part of our social skills, and that can veer into people-pleasing behavior if you're constantly agreeing with people because you want to earn their admiration, not because you believe what you're saying. Apologizing for things that aren't your fault. People pleasers often make themselves responsible for the emotional responses of others. If someone feels bad, you may blame yourself or fear that the person thinks you're the problem. It's good to say you're sorry if you've hurt someone, but there may be a deeper issue if you're frequently apologizing for things that you have no control over. Not being able to say no. If you find it difficult to tell others no when they ask for something, you may be a people pleaser. Many people pleasers prefer making up excuses later to get out of a commitment instead of saying no from the start. If you do follow through, you can regret not having the strength to stand up for yourself. Your worth depends on how others see you. People pleasers need validation from others to feel good about themselves. They can go to extremes to earn great rewards or praise from others, and the confidence of people pleaser rises and falls based on how others perceive them. So, not that we might have all of these qualities, but we might have some of them, and so I think it's important to understand what the effect is of being a people pleaser. One of them is the lack of self-care. You know, if you're constantly devoting yourself to meeting the needs of others, you're going to begin to neglect your own. You might have built-up resentment that can lead you to make passive-aggressive comments and show other signs of frustration. And sometimes an inability to really enjoy yourself, like going out for ice cream or watching a favorite TV show. So, if you have any of these, what can you do? Take a step back and look at where you're spending most of your time and energy. Keep track of how often you say yes when someone asks you for something. Think about how you feel in these moments. Taking stock of times you're unable to give a firm no can help you recognize those situations in the future and give a different response. Start recognizing your limits and placing boundaries around you and how you spend your time. And think about how much bandwidth you really have before making commitments. Try to expand your energy only on those things that align with your values and make you feel good. I have come to know that moving out of people-pleasing behavior helps you move into living more authentically. So what does it mean to live authentically? You know, we kick the phrase around, live an authentic life, be authentic. But how do we find that place within ourselves? How do we know we're not being influenced by past messages and beliefs? Being authentic means coming from a real place within. It's when our actions and words are congruent with our beliefs and our values. It is being ourselves, not an imitation of what we think we should or have been told we should be. There is no should in authentic. If being authentic means being our true self, how many of us have really taken the time to know ourselves on a deep level? And part of knowing ourselves is knowing what we believe in. Throughout our childhoods, we're picking up messages that become part of our belief system. Left unchallenged, we can walk around thinking that these beliefs are our own. Part of finding our authentic self is sorting through these beliefs to find out which are truly our own. Are they beliefs that come from a mature, healthy, grounded place within us? Or are they remnants from our childhood, coming from an insecure place? As children, we're sponges. We take on the beliefs and values of those we look up to, depend on, love, or sadly even fear. And some of these beliefs may be serving us well, and others are doing the exact opposite. But taking the time to reflect on what is important, what resonates, what is truly our belief is a step we all must take. Without doing this, we are carrying around baggage that is not our own. Baggage that keeps us from finding our authentic self. And by exposing ourselves to new ideas and different ways of being, we can discover what resonates within us. When I was in university, I signed up for a religious study class to learn more about various religions in order to answer the question, what do I believe in? And I took these classes all to open my eyes to discover what I believed and what resonated within me. Those early university days planted a seed within me, and I learned to look openly at what is all around me, to find out what my truth is. This is not an easy place to live from. Many times when I believed I was being open, I found that the goblins of the past slammed the door shut. Goblins of the past are those old tape-recorded messages that play over and over again in our heads or pop up when we least expect them. It is the self-talk and beliefs that from our past that wiggle their way into the present and throw us into that insecure little kid place. Part of finding our authentic self is unhooking ourselves from the past, turning off the tape recorder, and being grounded in the present. For it is when we are grounded that we can be open, curious, and accepting of ourselves and others. Being authentic is more than being real. It is finding what is real. And what is real for me will be quite different than what is real for you. There is no value attached. It is simply as what is for each of us. If your sexual orientation, spiritual beliefs, or chosen path is different than mine, we are both okay with it. When we are both living from our authentic selves, our differences do not frighten or challenge us. There are no judgments. I honor the authentic you, and you honor the authentic me. I'm now in my later adult years, and I'm still discovering what my truth is, who I am, my beliefs, and who my authentic self is. And no, it's not that I'm a slow learner, although Jerry might disagree with that. It is because I am constantly evolving and changing. Each time I go deeper within myself, I learn a new skill. I release myself from the bondage of an old message. I evolve again, and a new side to my authentic self is revealed. Living authentically is not stagnant. It is constantly shifting and taking on new forms. If we truly believe in living an authentic life, then we must continually be learning about ourselves, challenging our old beliefs, sorting through our baggage. It is about learning to face fears and doubts, to be able to reach deep within ourselves to find out what makes our hearts sing, our spirits soar. It is finding where our authentic self feels the most alive and unburdened, and then having the courage to live from that place. I have been trying to live this authentic life for many years. It has brought me happiness and extreme joy. It hasn't been easy, and I have had many challenges to face and trials to overcome. But having the person on the inside match the person on the outside has been a freeing and a tremendous blessing for me. Finding and living from that authentic self, I promise you, will be freeing. If you're stuck in a people-pleasing cycle, chances you're subconsciously attaching to people who need you to soothe them in discomfort because they don't know how to do it for themselves. And since they don't know how to manage their own emotions, they'll continue to reach out to you whenever they're in crisis, and on occasions when your pleasing behaviors aren't enough for them, they'll blame you for their discomfort. So if you want to make changes in your life and begin to live into your own authenticity, it's time for you to see the pattern clearly and stop basing your sense of worthiness on other people's approval of you. Change your perceptions, beliefs, and behaviors. Receive the love and respect you desire by celebrating your freedom from the longing to be accepted by others. And realize that in this UU community is a place where love and acceptance reside. Know that here you can live and be authentic, and that you will find acceptance. For those of you who are people pleasers, and for those of you who are striving to live an authentic life, I leave you with these three things that you can begin to do today. 1, change your perception of yourself. If you're wondering how you get the love and respect you desire, you first need to change your perceptions. Make it a habit each day to write down 3 things that you like about yourself and 3 things you'd like to change. Do this practice every day for a week. And once that's done, you'll begin to change your own perceptions. And then keep doing the practice for another week, and as you do, your behaviors will begin to change naturally. Number 2, write down at the beginning of each day or at the end 5 things that you are grateful for that day. And I promise you that if you do this for at least 3 weeks, you will find that your perceptions will begin to change and you'll begin to be more in tune with yourself. And the 3rd, do something nice for yourself every day. Maybe it's go get ice cream. Maybe it's read a book. But every day when you get up, decide that there is going to be something that you are going to do that is nice for you. Part of learning how to stop being a people pleaser and to live an authentic life is to be in touch with your feelings in that person that's on the inside. By connecting with our true selves each day, we can find joy and strength to deal with whatever life might throw our way. And so my challenge to all of you is to start today to begin to live an authentic life of integrity. I want to take this time to thank each of you and to thank this community for the past months that I've been able to be here and worship with you and get to know some of you. and spend quality time at home with my partner, Jerry. I leave tomorrow on an exciting journey. I'll be serving the Santa Rosa, California UU congregation as their interim minister. But I take with me the joy, the strength, and acceptance that I have always found in this West Shore community. I thank you for your examples, for your friendship, for your love, for your support, and for what you do in my absence for my partner, Jerry. You have taught me over the years of how to be a minister and how to minister, and I thank you for that. May you all be watched over, and may West Shore continue to be a place where individuals and families can come and find acceptance and love and get connected with that authentic self. May it be so. Please stand if you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Please be seated. The benediction words are from Share Your Glorious Light with the World by James Morrison. What? Yes, sorry. Let's extinguish our chalice first. So at home, bring your chalice close to extinguish it as we extinguish the chalice here with the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again. And now for the benediction. Within each of our hearts, there's the most glorious light.
Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light of reason be your guide in your decisions.
Go forth and bring its ray of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they may find healing.
Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world.
Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world.
Go forth and share your glorious light with the world. Go forth and share your light. And may it be so. Love and courage and cheer to all. invite you to coffee hour at 11:30 and the sermon chat at 12. Thank you.
Blessed be.